Vlog with me. Come here. Get in the shot. Yeah. Hey there, Internet. It's been a while. My parents are home, like, all the time when I'm home now, and I really don't like making videos when they're home. Another reason I haven't done a video in a while is because I really haven't had anything to talk about, but I've been kind of going around YouTube and looking at coming out videos. I don't know why. Mostly of, like, younger kids. I'm 20 years old and I just kind of want to help the younger kids who are coming out now, like at 15, 16, and kind of give them some words of advice. Now, I'm not talking like Dumbledore wisdom. I'm probably not even talking like fortune cookie wisdom. I'm talking just, you know, I have a couple years of experience on them, and I think, you know, it's a good idea for them to come to people for advice. And I'm a likable guy, so if you're 15, 16, even a 17-year-old, the guy I'm seeing right now didn't even come out until he was 19, so, and he's turning 20 tomorrow. So even if you're that, and you just need a little bit of help to see what's, you know, coming up in the next few years, feel free to talk to me, because I'm cool. And I have a bunch of people that can vouch. I'm like conducting. What is this? First thing I'm going to talk about is just telling my coming out story, because I noticed I've never really said my coming out story, and I'm a bad gay for that. My coming out story is actually not that bad. Obviously, I still live in my parents' house whenever I'm home from school. They helped me with college, so they didn't disown me or anything. Okay. We're gonna back it up to when I was in 8th grade, so I was about 13. I started kind of questioning myself. I kind of kept calling myself curious. I'd come home from school before my brother and sister a couple times because they were in a younger grade and I was in 8th grade, and sometimes they'd let 8th graders out early, and sometimes I'd get home before anyone else and kind of do some research on the internet. Not research, I was looking at naked people, guys, to be exact. But I would never really give myself a label other than, like, curious. Freshman year of high school, I was still curious, moving into bi. Sophomore year, I was calling myself bi. And then junior year, around junior year, I started, I just realized I didn't like girls anymore. As anything more than friends. I have some awesome girlfriends, but they're not my girlfriend. They're just my cow pals, or my fag hags, whichever one they prefer to be called. But I'm not sexually attracted to them, and I realized that, you know, between sophomore and junior year, kind of into sophomore year. So I kind of just started telling my friends, because all my friends had already known I was calling myself bi, and so I kind of started telling my friends first about, you know, I don't think I like girls anymore, I think I just really exclusively like guys. And then it was fall, it was football season, I remember, because my brother, my sister, and my dad were out at a football game, and my mom was getting ready to leave to go to my grandma's, and I was kind of following her around the house, and just being very kind of weird, and she's like, what is wrong? And I kept saying nothing, because it's really hard to work up that kind of courage. And eventually she's like, is there something wrong? It's like, I think there's something I should tell you soon. And she's like, what is it? I was like, can we go into the living room and sit down? She's like, okay. I'm actually in the living room where it happened. And I sat down with her and I told her, I was like, I don't think I really like girls anymore. She didn't seem shocked. I'd always been a little different. She just talked that out with me. She didn't have much time. She had to leave to go to my grandma's, which was my genius idea, really, to tell her before she left somewhere, so she wouldn't have much time to talk about it. We still talked it out a little bit. I was really big into youth group that time, and so the conflicting faith gay thing, which is another thing I'll get into some other time. We talked about that a little bit. And then she told me not to tell my dad, because she wasn't sure how he would react. And I didn't. Until last summer, I went to St. Louis Pride Fest. So this was like just a year ago he found out. I was, I guess, 19 at the time. I told my mom when I was like 17. So it was 2 years later my dad found out. I got a pride, like, bracelet, and I wore it home, and I forgot I had it on, and he came down the next day to wake me up for church, and he saw the bracelet. I was in bed. I was, like, asleep. I felt him lift my arm up, him walk out of the room, him walk back in the room. Jack, time to wake up. I was like, okay. He's like, hey, I have a question. Where'd you go yesterday? Because he knew I went to a park the day before, and I was like, to a park? He's like, what park? I was like, it's in St. Louis. And he's like, was it Tower Grove Park? I was like, yeah. He's like, wasn't that where the gay thing was? I was like, yes. And he goes, are you gay? And I said, yes. Now keep in mind, I had just woken up. So I didn't say yes. I was like, yes. Probably not the best time to, you know, come out, but I'm just waking up, and it's right before church. And so as I was waking up, I was like, shit, I'm coming out to my dad. And so then he asked me, does your mom know? And I said, yes. And just to get a little bit of stuff off of me, I said, Mom told me not to tell you. And me and my mom talk about it every once in a while, whenever I bring a guy home or something. She'll kind of realize that it's the guy I'm dating. And she'll just, you know, be like, be safe, be careful, blah, blah, blah. My dad don't really talk about it at all. Apparently he's brought it up to my mom a couple times, thinking now I should become a priest. So that's where he is with that. It's just not something they talk about, and I don't think it's something that needs to be talked about all the time, because it's not who I am, it's just a part of me. So really, it's just a really easy story, coming out story. I've never lost any friends over it. Anybody who I could potentially be friends with, and if they found out, walked away, well, then they weren't going to be good friends anyway. And so I've never lost any friends over it. I've never really gotten any fights over it or anything. So, I mean, for the most part, I've had it pretty easy. And I think that's just with the changing times. I think it's becoming a lot easier for a lot of people to come out, which is good. So yeah, that's my coming out story. I've never shared it before, on YouTube at least. I think it was good, and I think you should comment and rate and subscribe, and talk to me if you want, because I'm really willing to talk, especially, you know, I like guiding younger people. It's fun. Yeah, so if you need to talk, I'm here. I'm on the internet all the time, most of the time. So hit me up. I will see you guys later. Bye.